are shorting today. It's 9:21 in the market. Just did our recap. Let's talk about what we're looking at on this day. First thing, what do I want to always start off with? Look at the number one top gainer. When I look at the number one top gainer, I see LSDI. This stock is currently up 352%. This stock has 1 million in float. Obviously, from our previous lessons, you guys know, hey, a stock that has 1 million in float, that's up 352%. This stock better have some sort of amazing press release behind it. It has monster volume at this moment. Stock is going absolutely crazy. This is a play that definitely has a lot of room to fall. If a stock has spiked 350% on the upside, it has room to fall all the way back on down as well. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive in on this play right now and try to figure out, is this play actually worth our time? Now, you also might notice my news scanner is not here today. The reason why my news scanner is not here is because it's getting updated at this moment. They're getting a new demo to me. So that is why we don't have Fox Runner today. So let's go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way, looking up the news on what's happening over on LSDI and why this play might have some activity towards it. So when I take a look over on LSDI, I don't actually see any news at all this morning. LSDI, when I take a look over on this play, you guys can see, here's LSDI. 15 hours ago was the last press release, not this morning. And the press release that came on out wasn't even a press release. It was a filing. There's nothing really on LSDI. This was, again, a filing, a 10Q filing. So what is a 10Q filing? This is basically just giving us a little bit of a quarterly report. So it's giving us a quarterly update. Okay. So we have a quarterly report, which is almost just like an earnings report. So are earnings reports the biggest thing in the world? Should earnings reports lead to 350% spikes? In most cases, no, right? They really shouldn't. So I'm asking myself at this moment, LSDI, this stock has gone from 58 cents all the way up towards $2.30. What is going to happen here? How are other traders going to perceive this? Now, I know as a shorter, I know that this stock has a better chance of falling than spiking. Let's take a look at the past chart history pattern together. Traders, what has LSDI done over the past year? Over the past year, it has gone from $40 and has faded and fallen and dropped and got weaker and weaker and weaker all the way down towards 46 cents. Do you guys think that a quarterly report is going to make this stock spike all the way back up to $40 and actually be a good play? No. Right? This play is going to do exactly what it did probably right around this area, right here, right? Where the stock just went on a big time spike, came right back on down. So it's going to be very similar to that manner. So we already know that LSDI is going to give back all of its gains in the future. We already know that LSDI is most likely going to have a big crack, big fall, and probably be back underneath $1 in the upcoming days, the upcoming weeks. But the thing is, LSDI isn't going to get any hype at the start of the day. You can't just say, hey, Deck, let's go ahead and short it right now at $2.15. Because what if it runs up to $3? What if it runs up to $4? What if it runs up to $5? So really the secret that we're trying to do here is we are trying to wait for the spike and then get it as it's starting to reverse on down where it's pretty much done with. To go ahead and short plays right at the start of the day is a little bit scary. Now, you will win some, you will lose some. And if you are willing to hold, you'll probably win a lot of them. But are you willing to hold if LSDI goes up to $3, $4, $5 and keeps on squeezing, right? So that's the issue there. You don't want to just get squeezed and keep going higher. So we want to look at where is there, again, some areas of resistance, right? So always, again, we grab the daily chart and we try to figure out where there are going to be areas of resistance on this play. Now, the easiest area to be able to see resistance is going to be, first things first, the 200-day moving average. So I can realize a very popular indicator right here, 200-day moving average, that's going to be a strong resistance line. That's at the price of 326. If we get up towards around the price of 326, that's going to be an area that most likely we are going to start turning and falling at. Now, 326 is a great area, but I'm also looking at a lot of the previous history here. And I can actually see some old bottoms kind of line up with a lot of old tops. I'm actually going to adjust this line here. And you know what I see a little bit better? I see kind of right around this 290-ish mark is actually a little bit better. And just take notice of this. The lower shadow bounces off 290. Lower shadow bounces off 290. We basically are sitting right at 290. Then, of course, what happens? We have top resistance at 290, top resistance at 290, top resistance at 290. You can see we have some resistance right around like 285 right here. So I'm saying if, again, LSDI spikes on up, I think 290 would be a great area, or right around 290 would be a great area where traders would be saying to themselves, hey, there's an opportunity, we start giving some back. If the stock continues to spike up even higher, it would be right around that 320-ish mark. Now, Deck, what if it gets above 290, and what if it gets above and holds 320? Then, unfortunately, you have to get out. You have to get out and you have to say, okay, let me figure out where it's going to be going up next to. Could it get up to $4? Could it get up to $5? Could this keep going higher and higher and higher? So the thing is, LSDI right here, this is the play that I definitely want to be keeping our eyes peeled on. Now, I posted this over in chat as well, where I put in earlier here today. Let's see, this was at the time of what? This right here, I said, if you wanted to short this play, this was at 8:42 in the morning. So about 45 minutes ago. Those were the locate fees. It costed $5 to short LSDI. Let's see what the locate fees are now. Because remember what I told you guys yesterday. First come, first serve. The people that locate their shares early are going to be the people that, again, are going to be getting the best price. Doesn't mean you got to jump in. It just means you have to locate your shares early. So let's see what we have here. If I go over to LSDI, all right, let's go to cancel this. LSDI, are they still $5? I don't know. I haven't checked. Let's see. Locate. Nope, they're still $5. So boom, that's great. So they didn't go up in price. I actually thought they might have gone up in price, but it's great that they didn't go up in price. So, everyone could still be able to get their locate fees for a relatively good area. So if you are 100% set saying, Deck, I am shorting LSDI at some point throughout today, you can go ahead and you can pay that locate fee if you guys would like to. So that is definitely going to be something that, you guys would be aware of. Now, if you guys are very interested on this play, let's keep our eyes peeled on it right at the start and see what happens. Now, I do want to be talking about GameStop. I do want to be talking about these meme plays, but I want to see what happens on LSDI at the start of the day, to be honest, first, and then we can go from there. Also, if you guys want to get, my ideas of what I'm going to be talking about over on GameStop and all those other plays here, make sure you guys go to our morning newsletter. My morning newsletter, again, I already kind of typed out the idea of what I want over on that play. You guys can see it right here. So you guys can actually scroll on up and I give my entire game plan over on GameStop. So again, GameStop, I talk about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5, what I think could be happening. Here's an example of what I think could happen. And then here's again, like basically the prediction of what I think could happen. So this is a mid-candle breakout pattern. Make sure you guys go check that out if you guys haven't. I also wrote out about LSDI a little bit, gave you guys some backdrop history over on GameStop and things along those lines. So make sure you guys go check that on out if you guys haven't. But hey, it is a game time at this moment. I can't guarantee we're going to be getting involved on our first short today. Remember, guys, I still got about 2, 3, 4 more lessons I really want to teach you guys to get everyone on the same page. So can I guarantee that we're going to be pulling the trigger and shorting today? The answer is no, I cannot. The thing is, traders, I want to trade as badly as you guys want to trade, but I want to teach you first. So for everyone that says, Deck, when are you going to short? When are you going to pull the trigger? After I get you guys off your white belt. Right now, guys, you guys came to, again, the karate class. And right now, everyone's sitting here with a white belt, and you guys want to go play jiu-jitsu with, again, a black belt coming out of, Rio de Janeiro. All right, we don't want to do that right here. We're going to get our ass kicked. What we want to do is, again, I know, again, you're excited, but you still got that white belt on. I'm teaching you. I'm trying to help you become a better shorter. I want to make sure you understand absolutely everything. And I know you guys are starting to understand things. I know you guys are starting to get it. But again, I want to upgrade you up a little bit. Let's get you a couple belts up there. Let's go through a couple more lessons and then we can do it together. Okay? So let's see how LSDI opens on up. See if LSDI opens on up with a quick little hold, quick little spike. What this play may be doing here in the near future. So let's get ready to rock. So we still have a ton of plays. Millionaire, I just don't want to miss any plays. The thing is, let me tell you right now. So again, I'm glad you picked that on up. Millionaire says, Deck, I want to learn. I want to be able to trade. I just don't want to miss any trades. If we're doing lessons, I don't want to miss a trade right here. The thing is, I'll tell you this. No matter how old you are, I'm 30 years old. The stock market was open and there were plays going on when I was just a baby. And guess what? When I'm 90 years old, the stock market will be open and there's going to be plays going on when I'm 90. You will miss plays in your life, and you will miss hundreds of plays, thousands of plays. You will miss millions of opportunities. The thing is, guess what? You're going to have more opportunities the next day, the next afternoon, the next 20 minutes from now. There will always be plays in the stock market, always. So the thing is, don't have that FOMO already set in. Don't have that FOMO already in your system saying, I can't miss a play. I gotta, you're not gonna get anything out of this course. Because the thing is, if you're only focused on trading stocks and you're only focused on trading plays and you're not listening to the lessons and you're not taking in what I'm showing you and things along those lines, then again, you're just gonna be at the same exact place that you are right now. Let me ask you guys a question. I can almost guarantee every single person that's watching this right now, they are saying to themselves, well, I'm here because I don't like the place I'm in. Is that the reason why? Who here is here listening, watching, learning because you are not happy with your financial circumstances at this moment? Because you want more in your financial circumstances at this moment. You want to say, hey, yeah, Deck, I am here because I want to learn how to actually make money in the stock market. And then guess what some people say? Some people say, hey, Deck, I'm here, but can we skip the lessons and just trade? So we're just going to do exactly where you're at right now, right? The thing is, if you guys actually want to see a change, we have to take time to actually make a change. So many people, again, say, all right, hey, let's just keep doing what we were doing before. Well, what you're doing before obviously isn't working. So let's make sure that we take the time to learn. Let's make sure we take the time to do it. And if you guys don't want to take the time to learn, obviously you're just going to be in the same exact position you were in last week. So we got to make sure that we are, again, learning and being as good as we can. So let's, again, get this information. LSDI already started on off with a little bit of a morning drop. LSDI, as you guys can see, shorted, people are shorting this play, already starting to get weakness right off the drop here. What do you guys do next? Now you guys head on over to www.nasdaqtrader.com/trading halts, and what do you guys realize? LSDI. LSDI is halted at the time of 9:30 and 45 seconds. It will be getting unhalted at 9:35 and 45 seconds, right? So we will be getting unhalted in about 2 minutes from now. And this gives you about 2 minutes to figure out, okay, is there going to be a bounce play or not? I can ask the chat right now. Is there any person at this moment that pulled the trigger on the short side right when this opened on up? LSDI, it's up over 300%. LSDI has all this room to be able to fall. LSDI is a stock that has been fading and falling for the last 9 months. LSDI is a stock that is almost guaranteed to give back all of its gains in the next few days. But what's the issue is? The issue is there's still traders out there that says, oh, Deck, can I buy LSDI? Hey, it's like, I'm trying to think of a movie scene or something like that where we're snapping you out of it, bringing you back to real life. It's like when I go on Twitter, I feel like everyone's in a different world. I guess it's almost like the Matrix in a way, right? That you just you don't understand that there's so much more out there, right? So it's I get this question. I literally saw this question today. Someone hit me up on Twitter and they said, Deck, LSDI, you see it's up over 310%. I'm buying in right now. And there's just some I can't help. If you're buying into a stock that's up over 300% with no news other than a quarterly report on a stock that has a low float, you have to know this is just a social media pump. This is just a pump play. Hey, again, yes, this play again has been falling for the last 10 months. This play is up 300%. It's probably going to give back all of its gains. This play is a low float stock. It's going to dump. So do you think there's a little bit left on the upside? Oh, baby, I just want to buy it. Oh, I just want to buy every play I see. I don't want to miss out on it. It's guys, just short it. Just short it, right? It's right here, just from me again, kind of speaking to you guys over the past few days. I hope again you can say to yourself, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Is there anyone here that wants to admit that you were the guy right there that maybe was in La La Land for your whole entire trading career, and you're now saying to yourself at this moment, yeah, I was kind of that guy. No matter what, I just wanted to buy plays. Now that you show me this deck that literally every penny stock falls on off and literally 85% of businesses go out of business. And on top of that, these plays always give back their gains looking at the past chart history pattern. And literally if we have a 90% chance of just shorting it and probably only a 10% chance of buying it and making money, yeah, but still I would just buy it every single day and hope I would nail the big time breakout. Right? It's we got to wake up here a little bit, people. Wake up, people. These are things that we got to be able to figure out, be able to become better on day in and day out. LSDI is now live. Let's see if this one is just going to dump on off here. I would love it. I would love it if it was able to spike back on up. I would love to see if this one was able to spike back on up. I would love to see if this one was going to be able to get that rip and run. Guys, it looks like it's about to get halted on the downside once again. Remember, we got LULD, limit up, limit down. LULD, limit up, limit down. Are we halted yet? The answer is no. Remember, we have to wait until we're zeroed out to get halted. You will, and there's the zeroed out, and we're halted again on the downside. So Deck, if I shorted this play, guess what? You would have made money. So starting off at the very beginning of the day, very risky to short plays right at the bell because you could always get that initial pop. But guess what? This one opened on up and it dumped on down. And now guess what? This is where I go on Twitter. This is where I go on StockTwits. This is where I go to my emails. And this is where people give me this question. They say, Deck, the stock market's so unfair. Every time I buy a play, it does the opposite thing I want. Every time I buy a play, every single time I buy a stock, it always goes against me. And I say, didn't you just buy a stock that's up over 300% that's been falling for the last 10 months and every single time it spikes, it gives back its gains? Yep, that's the one I bought. Exactly. So what are you mad about? Well, every time I buy it, it goes down, right? So we just honestly have to start thinking these plays through a little bit more. These are, again, plays that we have to, again, start saying to ourselves at this moment, obviously it's going to fall. So let's, again, be on that side that there's more opportunity for us. So great to see over on LSDI right here, right? And be able to just continue to put in, what we're putting on there. Now, let's talk about, actually at this moment, a little bit more of these meme plays, okay? Let's talk about GameStop a little bit. Let's talk about AMC a little bit. Now, we know what? I put a ton of information out here over on these plays to see what we have, to see what we're looking at. You guys have already seen this information. This information, I just want to briefly go through it in case you guys missed it. This is not my opinion, this is fact. Over the past 3 years, GameStop has gone on a fair share of spikes. Now, every single time we have seen a spike with a long upper shadow on the weekly chart has always led to the previous week being red. So what does that mean? This means GameStop needs to get back above $60 before the end of Friday to close this upper shadow. And if it doesn't, that guarantees that next week will be a heavy red week, statistically speaking. GameStop traders have to try to push this back up to $60 by, again, the end of Friday. Now, if you guys take a look over on this chart here, you guys can see 1 week, big upper shadow, next week, sell-off. 1 week, big upper shadow, next week, sell-off. 1 week, big upper shadow, next week, sell-off. 1 week, upper shadow, next week, sell-off. Upper shadow, next week, sell-off. This is the weekly time frame. GameStop has to get back on up, has to get back above $50 to close this, or next week you are basically set up for absolute doom. So please make sure that you guys are aware of this. Also, I talked about this, talking about, why so many traders fail. I kind of feel like I've talked about that already so much today, about, all these plays, going on this nice spike and fall. Let me just kind of type out right here. Points of discussion. GameStop first started spiking in 2021, which was 3 years ago. Okay, boom. Second point of discussion. Since then, GameStop has had 8 weeks of hard spiking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very cool to see. For those who do not know, there are 52 weeks in a year, and that would be 156 weeks that you can trade over the past 3 years. So if you break this down over 156 weeks, there has only been 8 true breakouts where you can see strong buyers. That means you have a 1 in 20 chance of actually being successful. So a 1 in 20 chance, right? You have 8 times over 156 times that you are actually going to be successful. Right? That's awful, right? Those odds are awful. So what you can look for is, instead of going 8 times in 156, you can realize that there is probably going to be so much more times of shorting, right? So if you actually just wait for a spike and you short until after a spike, you would win every single time. So that's kind of the big thing about this. Now let's talk about GameStop today. GameStop today, this is what I'm hoping can happen. So GameStop alert. I would love to see a spike today on the meme rally. I'm an avid shorter, but I would give it to bulls today. I do see a potential mid-candle breakout pattern, which is one of my favorite chart setups. So this is the way that it works. Number one, you have a monster spike. So number one would be a monster spike. Here's the example, monster spike on a mid-candle breakout pattern. Number two is going to be profit taking from that monster spike. So we have a huge rip and run, then we start having profit taking. Number three is shorters move in and the stock falls. After this big spike, people start selling their profits or taking profits, and people start jumping in on shorts. Now, as the stock falls on down, it's now a great dip buy opportunity because it's very low, and then shorters cover and the next rally begins. So we have monster spike, people take profits, people short it, it finds a bottom and then rallies back on up. This is what I'm looking to see happen over on GameStop today. Monster spike, monster rip. People again take profits, shorters move on in, and then after it finds a bottom, it starts rallying on up. That's what I would like to see. So when I take a look over on mid-candle breakout patterns, guys, you guys can see a ton of different examples right here if you guys want to. So here's tons of different examples. You have XNY, monster spike, pullback, next leg on up. Monster spike, here's a pullback, shorters get squeezed on out as you get the next leg on up, right? You can see right here, big spike, big pullback, big rip on up, right? Big spike, big pullback, shorters are in on it. As it starts moving on up, shorters get squeezed, it gets that next leg on up. Right? So these are all things I definitely want to make sure that you guys are aware of. So again, GameStop today, the beauty of this play would be if we can start getting back above like $34, $35 and start climbing back up to like $40 plus. So I definitely want to keep my eyes peeled over on GameStop and for people that want to potentially buy this play for a solid green day today, for a solid move on up today, for a solid climb today. That's going to definitely be very important. So GameStop, keep your eyes peeled on this for that mid candle breakout pattern. Now LSDI is back in live. And as you guys can see so far, take a look here. Let's go over something very important, traders. What did I teach you guys yesterday? Who can take a guess on what I'm about to say? I taught you guys 3 trading strategies yesterday for shorting. These are my favorite ones. These are the ones that work. These are the ones that can make you guys a lot of money. What were those trading strategies yesterday? Quick little recap. Number 1, those are going to be upper shadows, right? Number 2, shorting previous top gainers. The stocks that, again, were the best spikers yesterday. And number 3, this is hands down the most profitable, shorting pre-market top gainers. Stocks that, again, gap up 300% and now have all this room to be able to fall. And I showed you guys how every single gap up has a monster dump, right? Every gap up has a monster dump. Every gap up has a monster dump. Take a look at what's happening over on LSDI today. Hello, baby. You guys can see again, gap up towards again 215, and now it's dumping back on down towards again 170. So you can see how just like this is already what I'm teaching you is already working. You know what's kind of crazy, I think? And again, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but it's kind of crazy how I'm already teaching you so much stuff in the matter of 3 days. And it's not like you have to wait very long and wait for all these special circumstances to line up for, again, things to work. I've listened to like some ideas and courses and other people, and they're like, okay, look for this setup, this thing. And it's like that setup happens once every 3 months. That setup happens like once a year. Guys, it's like I teach you guys this stuff and it happens the next day. I teach you guys this stuff and it happens on the same day, right? And it's like, this is why I don't get it, right? Everyone should be able to be on top of these plays. Everyone should be able to be aware of these. I talked about this yesterday in Power Hour a little bit, for the people that joined us in the afternoon. I said, why don't we learn this stuff? Why don't we learn this stuff in school? Why don't we learn this stuff at a university? I'll tell you right now, when I was in college, if they offered stock shorting 202, I would have definitely joined it. If we had, again, back in my university, stock market introduction, day trading 405, entries and exits, long-term investments, dividends. If we learned about, shorting opportunity 608, right? I don't know. I'm just adding numbers at the end of it. Hey, why don't we do this? Let's actually, again, get people out there trading, making some cash, making some money. Is there a dean of a high school or a university listening that wants to hire me to come on in? Hey, I'll make an appearance. I'll teach the kids. I'll get you going. Bring those kids and get them on Forbes. Professor Deck. Professor Deck. I like it. Hey, I wish though. I wish we had something like that when I was in college. Right now, traders, let's continue to keep our eyes peeled over on these plays a little bit more. See where this momentum is going to be taking us here next. Right now, LSDI, watching and waiting. LSDI, this one's still dropping on down. Really, the next play that we could be watching is GameStop if it gets all the way back up above that $34, $35 mark. Let's also see where we have over on the S&P 500, right? S&P 500 here. This play, if this one starts getting back on up 530 plus, we could start seeing those brand new high of the days. So usually at this moment, for me, just giving you guys a heads on up. What do you guys think that I would be doing and what you guys should be doing? Because we all have the same scanners. Let's say we're done with teaching you everything we know, right? What do you do at 9:45 if you're in a little bit of a pickle? If all of a sudden you're saying to yourself, all right, I missed out on LSDI. LSDI, the stock is already starting to fade a little bit. LSDI, I don't know if I want to jump it on the short. It already fell again 50 cents from the top. Maybe I'll look for a next one. What do we like to do from here? Well, obviously we look at, GameStop and AMC. They've been very hot plays. But now I look at the top gainers. I say, is there anything else that's worth my time? LSDI is the number one top gainer, but what about TSRI? Nope, TSRI just moving sideways, not really worth my time. What about BMTX right here? BMTX, this one had a morning spike, and now again, it's giving all of its gains on back. So again, BMTX, not really one I want to look at. So instead, probably what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watching the breakout scanner now. So I'm going to be keeping a lot of attention towards the breakout scanner, see if anything pops up on this play to maybe start getting some hype. BMTX popped up a few times. And also the high of the day momentum scanner. Was there any big 20 counts today, guys? Remember, what did I teach you? Watch for 20 counts. Watch for the stocks that are, again, spiking on up, because those are the ones that are going to come crashing on down. So everyone has the high of the day momentum scanner now. And let's scroll on back and let's say 1 count, 2 count, 3 count, 1 count, 2 count. No 20 counts yet. No big breakouts. I'm going through the past here. So I'm scrolling on up. We got 15 count, 14 count, 17 count. IPW, little spike, gave all of its gains back. Let's see if there's anything big. Anything pop on up that, that I missed. What is this? TTOO spiked on up, gave it all back. All right. And what is this? BMTX spiked it all on up, gave it all back. Traders, it's kind of getting ridiculous how people don't notice this. It's like, hey, every single stock that spikes, it gives all of its gains on back. And it's like, people are still every day, and I know I'm saying this a lot today, well, what stock's going to keep going on up? It's almost like we're brainwashed. It's, okay, BMTX went on up and came crashing on down. LSDI went on up and came crashing on down. All these plays have gone on up and come crashing on down, and people are still saying, well, what play is going to go up? Well, what play is going higher? It's like, I got to buy a play. It's like, we don't have to. We can always short. So we know all of these have opportunity to dump. Little heads on up. FFIE here, traders. FFIE, this play, trying to work its way on up. FFIE right here. What is so important about this one? This is a meme stock. AMC, FFIE, GameStop. These are all meme plays. GameStop, are we starting to work our way back on up? I would say GameStop has potential, team. If that one breaks through $34, $35, I do think we're going to get a little rally on up. Just a little heads up for you guys if anyone is interested over on that play. FFIE has strong $1 resistance. So $1 is going to be very strong resistance. This is where we turned off yesterday. We're actually going to do a whole lesson on this, guys. I'm going to teach you the most important resistance lines today. Okay? So I'm going to teach you guys the most important resistance lines today of where we are going to reverse at. Now, what do you guys realize? $1 is usually a very strong resistance area. So you guys can see right here, $1 top resistance gets a nice pullback. $1 top resistance gets a nice pullback. $1 usually gets a top resistance, we'll get a nice pullback. If FFIE breaks $1, that's where we're going to spike on up. Get out of your own bubble. That's what I got to say to you guys. And that's what I say to myself every single day. I try to be non-biased on my plays. I don't sit here and I say, what am I going to trade today? What am I going to jump in on today? What am I going to do? I try to look at a play and I try to get outside of my mind and I say, how does everyone else perceive this play? Well, I could sit here with all my might and say, please break $1. Please go above $1. Or I could say, it hit $1, it's sold on off. It hit $1, it's sold on off. Probably if it hits $1 again, it's probably going to sell on off. But if it breaks $1, then yes, that would probably bring in a lot of excitement. So I'm trying to, see it. How are other people seeing it? I'm trying to see it on how other people are realizing these plays. I'm trying to see it on how other people are doing their moves here today. So that is going to be extremely crucial that every single trader understands that you want to be seeing how other people perceive these plays. Now, how do other people see $1? I'll tell you right now. $1 is a strong psychological number. It is only from 99 cents to $1. There's not that much big of a difference. It's 1 penny. But to the average trader, no, it's way more than the 1 penny. For the average trader, going from 99 cents to $1, that's now a dollar per share company. We're going from penny stock to now dollar per share on the company. And that's what's bringing in a lot of excitement. That's what's bringing in a lot of hype. That's what's bringing in a lot of action towards it. So I want you guys to realize that these psychological numbers are always going to be areas that we reverse at. You might say, Deck, well, what are the psychological numbers? Psychological numbers are going to be $1, are going to be $5, are going to be $10. Every $5 increment, so $15, $20, $25, then $50, then $50 increments, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, then $250 increments, 250, 500, 1,000. These are going to be huge numbers. When you kind of break into the next level, it's very difficult to do. From this point on, you will start realizing that stocks tend to always turn at the $1 mark. And you will realize that stocks always tend to turn at the $5 mark. And stocks always tend to turn at the $10 mark. And we usually see these areas always have some sort of turn. So I don't want to get too into it because we have a whole entire lesson on it, but just giving you guys an update and an understanding of what we have already at this very beginning. A little heads on up breakout scanner starting to get a GOOS. GOOS, $13 up to $14.20. Old past chart history pattern up towards around $14.40. May have some strong resistance right there. LSDI, what do we have on this play right now? LSDI got halted on the upside, still again very low. I wouldn't touch this play, as I said, unless it got all the way back up towards like $293. I want to see it more up near that 200-day moving average. So we had a nice little drop on down. Now it's trying to get a little bit of a pop. We'll see how well this one is going to be able to hold on up. And I still want to see if my mid-candle breakout pattern is going to work on GameStop. I do. I'm interested to see if that's going to happen. I want to see if the mid-candle breakout pattern setup is going to work over on GameStop, and we'll start seeing some hype and start pushing it on up a little bit more. So I want to see, if GameStop is going to be able to follow that perfect mid-candle breakout pattern setup, and then of course, go from there, which is going to be a very exciting. Also, right now, team, what I also want to be looking at is going to be any sort of big news today. Let's go over to the economic calendar. Economic calendar here. Any sort of big news here today? Let's see. U.S. news, 10 a.m. 10 a.m., Fed Vice Chair Michael Barr testifies. So nothing ginormous, nothing too crazy, but 10 o'clock, we usually start seeing the S&P 500 start getting a little bit of momentum, start getting a little bit more hype towards it. All right, so maybe again, 10 o'clock, we start seeing the SPY move on up. We start seeing a little bit more ripping and running. Let's see what else LSDI does when it gets unhalted here. And then from there, if we don't see anything, let's start diving into some lessons. Let's start taking your trading to the next level, as we always do. Can I ask you guys a question, though? How's everyone feeling today? Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone feeling today? Is everyone feeling good? Is everyone feeling excited? Can I get a little shout out right here? How's everyone doing? Let's hit a Deckmart Trades chat, baby. Ah-hoo! I want to see energy high, enthusiasm high. I want those notebooks out, ready to go, pen and pencil, ready to get after it. Woo! It's game time. I'm looking forward here to see what we got, see where we're at. See where we're getting, see what we're looking at. Yeah, 10 a.m., I'll definitely give my opinion on the SPY. Cocoa Mix, shout out to you, buddy. I'm going to be posting a video of Cocoa Mix later on. I was at the gym last night. Cocoa Mix actually walked up to me. And again, we started talking for a little bit. Got to give a shout out to Cocoa Mix. He actually just bought an Audi from his trading profits, guys. How insane is that? Coco Mix, I gotta tag you on Instagram. That's why I didn't post it last night. Send me your email of your Instagram, Coco, so I can go ahead and tag you on Instagram. I don't want to post it and not tag you so people can check you on out. But I was at the gym last night. Coco walked up to me in the parking lot. He goes, "Hey, Deck, look what I just got." And again, he got a brand new Audi. Shout out to you, buddy. That is insane, awesome, and it fired me on up. So right here, Kush Dot, can you please go over to GOOS? GOOS. Make sure you have it in capital letters with the money sign in front of it, and that'll always kind of pop out a lot more, make it a lot easier to be able to see. So again, capital letters with the money sign in front of it. We'll link it in chat. GOSS. You are going to want to be looking at old past chart history pattern. Old past chart history pattern is 1450. That's where we reversed that. And also, what did I just teach you? at around $15, you're going to have some strong resistance. GOOS, if it does not have any strong news, most likely it's going to be turning within the next dollar. So if there's no strong news, most likely GOOS is going to be turning around within the next dollar. So let's see if it has any sort of news. GOOS, anything here? GOSS rises after it on earnings beat. So it had an earnings report. Just like, again, LSDI. So LSDI had an earnings report. GOOS has an earnings report. Earnings really aren't the biggest thing in the world. I'm just going to take a prediction that GOSS is going to turn somewhere right around $15. So GOSS probably going to turn somewhere around that $15 mark. All right, guys, little heads on up. LSDI just had a quick little pop on up, starting to get a little bit weaker. Team, let's start diving into some lessons. Let's start talking about lessons, and let's start making sure that everyone understands this. So today, guys, first thing, I'm leaving obviously the scanners up, and I kind of want to go off of what I was just talking about with those psychological reversal areas. So I just want to draw this out. I don't want to go into a PowerPoint. I want to draw this out here. And I want you guys to realize something. What is stock trading about? Let's start thinking about this question right now. What is stock trading really about? Is stock trading about buying stocks low and selling them high? Is stock trading about trying to find what's the best play? To me, as a day trader, I'm not looking for what's the best company. I'm not looking for what's the best buy. I'm not looking for that. What I am looking for, the number one thing is I am looking for reversals. Because as a day trader, that's all I care about. I know it sounds mean, but I do not care whatsoever about the company. I do not care whatsoever about what the CEO is doing. I do not care whatsoever about what their earnings was. I don't care about that. All I care about is where is this stock going to reverse? Because guess what? We make money when a stock is moving up, moving up, moving up, moving up. And then if we see that there's a good reversal, guess what happens? This is where we make money as the stock starts coming back on down, back on down, back on down, back on down. If we can figure out where do reversals happen, that's where we make cash. Now you could look for reversals on the top side and get shorts. You could look for reversals on the bottom side and be able to get nice dip buys and bounce plays as it starts working itself back on up. Remember, reversals are beautiful. Reversals are absolutely amazing. Reversals are, again, times that you guys can be able to jump in on plays and say, wow, this is absolutely fantastic. Wow, this is absolutely great. I want to be able to find where reversals are truly at. Okay? That's what I want to look for. So today, what I want to teach you guys is about figuring out how can we be able to find reversals? How can we be able to figure out where these reversals are going to happen? Now, there are about 3 different main ways to be able to figure out where reversals are going to happen, right? The first way is going to be talking about natural resistance. So natural resistance. This is going to be a lot of that psychology. Okay, so natural resistance is going to be kind of those dollar marks, those whole dollar marks that I'm talking about. So let's start with natural right now. Natural resistance, okay? These are going to be reversal areas. As I said, strong psychology numbers. Strong numbers where people are just going to kind of say, ooh, I don't know if we're going to break that barrier. Even though it's just a penny, going from $9.99 to $100 per share, people are going to say, ooh, that's only a penny, but that's now a $100 per share company. So the perfect example we have right here is FFIE. FFIE right now is starting to squeeze and is starting to break because it had a very strong psychological number. Take a look here. Let's go back to a larger time frame. Actually, this is fine. Actually, no, let's go back to a larger time frame because there were some previous examples as well. What we have right here, FFIE, stock goes from 40 cents and spikes all the way up towards $1, right? That's awesome. Everyone sold at $1. How does everyone know to sell at $1? Well, because guys, it's kind of like an unwritten rule. If you go from 40, 50, 60 cents and you run up to $1, this is where you lock in profits. You are now going from a penny stock to now again $1 per share. Whoa, that's too strong for me. That's too strong of a barrier for me. Let me go ahead and start moving on from this play. Let me lock in my profits when I have them. So guess what again happens next? This stock starts coming back on down. You can see it tries again. No. Too strong of a barrier, comes on down. Too strong again. Guess what happens? It goes, nope. Too strong of a barrier, starts coming on down. And then guess what happens? FFIE finally breaks it. And you're wondering why FFIE is going on this very big spike. You're wondering why FFIE is bringing this big time momentum. You're wondering why FFIE has this hype and has this action towards it right now. Because it is breaking this barrier. And this barrier leads to breakouts. But you know what I've learned? And again, what I'm already seeing people in chat talk about here, guys, is they're saying, Deck, FFIE is breaking on out. And I say, okay, who cares? Who cares? And we say, Deck, well, breakouts are so awesome. Guys, I'm not here to play breakouts. Let me show you guys something. FFIE at this moment had one attempt. If you try to break $1 right here, you would have taken a loss. And you say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to try to break $1 right here. You're going to take a loss. Okay, well, I'm going to try to break $1 right here. You're going to take a loss. And now people become obsessed. Remember, you're going back to your old ways right now on saying, oh, I want to nail this breakout. I want to nail this spike, because now it would be finally the win. So you're telling me, what do we have here? If we try to buy it on the first one, we lost. The second one, we lost. The third one, we lost. And finally, if on the fourth one, we would have won. So that would have been, what? 3 losses here, right? 3 losses, and we would have had 1 win. Okay, is that what we want? No, 1 win. That means we have a 25% chance of winning. We have a 75% chance of losing. And still, we're going back to our old ways right now. I'm saying, oh, well, Deck, I want to find the breakout. So you want to have the 25% chance of winning and the 75% chance of losing? Why not reverse that? Yes, it is cool when we see breakouts. It is cool when we see moves. But we want to realize that if we can understand where these natural resistance lines are, that is where the stocks are most likely going to turn. So that is what we're always focusing on. That is what we're always looking at. In many cases, we will see stocks turn at these natural resistance lines. Now, the strongest resistance lines are going to be at the price of $1, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, then again $50, $100, $200, $250, $500, $750, $1,000, right? These big numbers are going to be very strong resistance. But you guys want to know even something better though? On the smaller microcap plays, the plays that we're going to be trading a lot of times, you are going to want to focus on 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's what you guys are going to want to be focusing on, kind of $5 increments. But within those strong major lines, we will have minor lines. So I kind of want to write this on out and say the strongest. So let's put this on a scale right here. And let's say the strongest resistance lines where we almost always see turns first time we touch. Now, I do want to have something right here. If you guys touch it once, touch it twice, touch it 3 times, yes, eventually we're going to break out. But if I'm talking about the first time we touch it, if we touch it once, there's usually always a guarantee we fall. If we touch it twice, it usually falls as well. But if we keep building higher lows, then yes, we can break out because that shows strength, just like we saw in FFIE right there. But I want to show you again the numbers and the lines right here that are number 1, the strongest. Then on top of that, number 2, let's just say relatively strong, right? And number 3, let's just go with, solid, right? You'll see reversals at these every now and then. So as I already stated, the strongest lines of resistance are always going to be $1, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25 in the smaller plays. So it is every $5 increment, just a little heads up for you guys. Now, still, relatively strong numbers are going to be every whole number. It's very difficult for a stock to kind of break through a whole number, which will be, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., right? As it goes on up. And you will see for smaller plays, right, it'll be more every like 50 cents, right? So it might be $1.50. Then it'll be $2.50, right? Then it'll be $3.50. So maybe even $3.75 for, like kind of within this region. So you always want to realize, hey, if we're coming up to a strong resistance line, these areas we usually always turn on the first time touching. Then, of course, we always want to be aware that we can turn on whole numbers. And then every now and then, we might just turn if it's a very small play on the $50, $52.50 area. So I just want to go through some examples here on today. Remember, team, I like to look at today's examples. I don't want to show you guys about textbooks that happened, back in 2009 on times that these happen. I want to look at today's examples and see, do we have reversals of today? Well, what do you guys realize? We realize we run up towards around $3, right? And guess what happens? The stock starts falling on down. There's again going into not the strongest resistance, but we do have these reversal areas right around $3 right here. LSDI, what did we come on up to? Right near, again, that 250-ish mark. We had some trouble over on LSDI. Again, LSDI, what really happened on this play though? It's when it broke through $1. When it broke through $1, that's where the stock started getting a very crazy. Started getting a ton of momentum, started getting a ton of action. That $1 break here. I just want to see if there's anything that's like really amazing and awesome that showed us that we were going to see this, reversals. And a lot of times you want to wait kind of after these stocks break out throughout the day of where these are going to reverse. And also helps when we have a little bit more breakouts. Look at what FFIE is doing right here, team. Again, don't fall back into your old habits. Oh, Deck, I'm sorry. I thought the stock was going to break out. I only wanted a 25% chance of winning, so I jumped in on this play and I'm in the red. Why is it every time I buy a stock, it falls on me? Guys, these aren't good companies, right? Take a look at past chart history pattern on FFIE. FFIE, where was it all the way up to? It was at $117. It's now at 94 cents. Is this a stock you want to buy? The answer is no. Let's stop being crazy here, okay? So, first thing again, always be watching natural resistance lines, okay? So natural resistance lines is where we always want to be looking at. What is next on the spectrum? Well, next on up is going to be, first we had our natural, which is going to be those whole numbers. Next on up is going to be extremely important as well, which is going to be previous chart history. So previous chart history. Now, what you guys will notice a lot of times is that things will add up. So what I mean by that is you guys will notice that your previous chart history pattern, stocks will tend to reverse at natural resistance. And the fact is, if we have natural resistance and previous chart history lining up very nicely, well, that's just going to make things even better for us. So let's take a look at some examples here. Let's take a look over on LSDI here. LSDI, how do I look at previous chart history pattern? What I'm always going to do is I'm going to look to see where is there a straight platform. Like where is there going to be an area where it seems like we always bounced off of, and where is there an area that it seems like we always got rejected off of? And this is going to take a little bit of practice. So what I would do is I would try to ignore today, ignore this candle right here, and try to take a look and say to yourself, is there an area, is there a price that I see every single time we hit, we fall, or every single time we hit, we bounce? So starting, not ignoring the chart, I'm going to say I do see an area that seems like we bounce off of every time, and that's going to be right around this mark. Would you guys agree with me that every single time in the past, it seems like we bounce off again 190, bounce off 190, bounce off again 190, bounce off 190. You can see top rejection at 190, top reject. So I would say, okay, 190, ooh, we're underneath 190. This is probably going to be an area of resistance. Would that make sense to you guys? So basically what I'm trying to get to you guys at this moment is if we are underneath, right? If we are underneath 190, okay, we fall underneath 190. 190 is an area that people bounce off of. It's going to be holding up as a ceiling. It's going to be holding up as a roof. If we are on our floor right now, okay, you're on a floor, you bounce on your floor. Now imagine if you go downstairs. If you go downstairs, that's now your roof. So the thing is, if I realize that we have bounce here, bounce play here, bounce play here, bounce play here, bounce play here, guess what? This 190-ish mark is most likely where we're going to touch when we're underneath it, and then we're going to go down. LSDT. Is it funny that this morning we fell on down, then we tried to get back above 190, and then we collapsed all the way back down lower? We fell on down underneath 190, we ran up to 190, we hit the roof, got rejected, and then came crashing all the way back on down here. So you're wondering, Deck, why the heck did again LSDI start falling right around this 190 mark? 190, we hit it and we got a super strong rejection. Past chart history pattern just told me that answer. So the same exact thing when I go ahead and I say, okay, well, how high can this play go? I start asking myself, and sometimes I just take a line just like this, right? And let me get rid of the indicators here for a second. So let's get rid of the indicators. Let's take a line, and you can see, okay, 190 looks pretty clear. Is there another area that looks very clear on like, okay, where can I be able to see this, turn and fall? So I see a top right here. I see a top that lines up right here. Maybe a top right here, and would that line up to these old tops over here? So let me put a line like right around this region. And with this line on up, ooh, this looks pretty good, right? Look at this. Top resistance right around 285. Top resistance 285. Top resistance 285. Top resistance 285. Bounce play off 285. If we ever started spiking on up, this would be a great area where it's our roof again. Hey, boom, go all the way back on down. So we would be able to see that LSDI. This would be a great play for us to be able to see this one, be able to spike on up, hit this mark, and fall back on down. That's looking at past chart history pattern, right? Let's take a look over on, let's say, BMTX here. BMTX, this play, is there any, this is a kind of a more choppy little play here, but let's go ahead and take a look at BMTX, okay? BMTX, try to practice right now. Everyone pause the video, take a second. Where do you see, don't look at today's candle, where do you see a platform? Where do you see an old floor or an old ceiling where if we hit that area, we are going to fall and reject on down? Take a second and try to figure it out over on BMTX. I can see it, but again, it takes practice. Now, what I see at this moment, traders, is I see a couple different areas. I would say number one, taking a look, I see we have a bounce play right here. I say we have a bounce play right here. I see we have top resistance right here, and this probably all lines up in some manner. So let's go ahead and put this right here. This would be an area that I would definitely be starting off at, right? That would be a nice area. But I think a lot of you guys are probably looking a little bit higher, which is fine, which is great. Because I do see that we have a lot of strong resistance, I would probably say, right in this area, right? This one is a little bit tricky because you could go a little bit more sporadic, right? But like 385 I would say, it would be the best area total if we start seeing a spike. We start seeing a little consolidation back here. We have top resistance, got rejected. A little bit under, got rejected. Hit the top resistance, got rejected. Right to not 285, but to 270, got rejected. That would be a great area for me to go ahead and start looking for a reversal. Because what has happened in the past usually happens in the present. If we got rejected at 385, people say, okay, 385. We got rejected at 385, people say, okay, 385. And sometimes you can scroll back even farther and you can say, oh, wow, okay, hey, these are going to be good areas. I'm going to give you another example here. Another example would be, take a look at this spike on BMTX. BMTX spiked all the way up to 1460. And then again, a couple months went by, and then BMTX started spiking its way back on up. Where did people sell this play? They started selling it when it got back up towards around this old top, right around that 1460 mark. So it's not like these numbers, these plays, these stocks are going up to random areas. These plays are usually going up to and turning and reversing at an old previous area that everyone sold off at as well. Because when you're buying a stock, everyone says, where do I sell at? Where do I sell at? And everyone says, oh, sell at the area that everyone sold off at last time because that's where everyone's going to sell at again. So where it sold off last time is now in our head on, okay, this is where it's going to start turning and reversing. And since everyone's looking at that area, guess what happens? It now comes crashing back on down as it follows that area. So let's look at some more top gainers here today. So traders, take a look at this. CCLD, this is a perfect example. And remember guys, this is not me looking through a textbook. This is not me again looking at, random areas here and trying to be like, okay, what actually works here? This is looking at today's top gainers and giving you the answer. So CCLD, why did it turn at where it did? Okay, I'm going to change the question up a little bit. Why did CCLD turn at this price right here? You can give me two answers. Easy. Well, Dak, number one, it turned just because it hit $3. $3 you just taught us was a natural resistance line. It's going to turn around $3. Boom. Perfect. Right? CCLD. It's a whole number. $3. That is absolutely great and absolutely awesome. Now, traders, what else can you guys see out of this play? Well, does anyone else notice that it bounces at $3 and bounces at $3 and bounces at $3 and bounces at $3 and bounces off? Put a line right at $3. Put a line across the board at $3. Can anyone else notice that this is where the stock bounces almost every single time, right at that red line? Bounce, 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 monster sell-off. Where do you think people are going to sell this play? They're going to sell this play every single time as it comes up to $3. So it goes on a monster spike. Sure, let it spike, let it spike, let it spike. And then guess what? At $3, we know that we are going to get a reversal. We know that we're going to get a drop. We know that we're going to be able to make money. We know that we're going to be able to profit. Traders. Traders, it's amazing. It's so awesome how you guys can put the odds in your favor right here, right? We were bouncing on the floor, bouncing on our floor here. Now again, we're underneath the floor saying, hey, let me in, let me in. And again, it goes right back on down. So you guys can realize these plays on how the past chart history pattern can tell us when we're going to fall. Now remember, is CCLD a good play? No. Again, guys, none of these are good plays. So I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it a bajillion more times. Get it out of your head. Get it out of your head of buying penny stocks for, again, $1 million profits. When instead, wait for other people to pump these plays on up and then make your millions as the stock falls on down. Make your profits as the stock drops. These aren't good companies. Why are we trying to nail a 1 in 100 when we can nail a 99 out of 100? That's when we will make our money. You guys will be much better. You guys will be much more consistent. You guys will make a lot more cash here. So I just went over again to 2 different ways on how you guys are going to be able to find reversals. Reversals are going to be from natural resistance, and reversals are going to be from chart history resistance. And both of these can also line up. Now also, we might be able to line ourselves on up with another one as well, which is going to be our detailed resistance, or again, I would just say, some indicators, okay? So indicators. So let's put on the popular indicators. Popular indicators, guys, as you guys know or may not know, that I use 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, and 13 EMA. So these are going to be indicators that I like to use: 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 13 EMA. Now, the whole point of these is they usually hold up as a line of resistance. When a stock goes on a very big spike, it usually reverses right around these averages. So let's just kind of look at a few different examples, see if there's anything that's really good for us. I mean, starting on off, let's just take a look over on LSDI. LSDI, you can see it usually stays underneath this 50-day moving average. Usually comes up to the 50-day moving average, falls underneath it. You hit the 200-day moving average, gonna hold up as another line of resistance. Okay, let's see if there's any kind of like clear-cut perfect examples back here. FFIE. FFIE, everyone sold. Where at? The 200-day moving average. Very big spike, hit the 200-day moving average, everyone sold at that area. So the 200-day moving average is kind of always a little bit higher up. It's always for the breakouts for these penny stocks, because these penny stocks have been fading and falling most of the time. So the 200-day moving average is always like above. It's kind of like always the target. So same exact thing when I take a look at LSDI, you can see it's like always the target we want to try to get up to. In most cases, it will always be like the target. It's always going to be like the idea. So if you ever see a stock that is spiking, like GV, what would be the target? 200-day moving average, everyone would sell. It's kind of like the unwritten rule. Okay, hey, everyone go ahead and look to sell when you get on up towards around this 200-day moving average. Okay? So what I wanted to talk about right here was understanding that we're not looking for what's the best play. We're not looking for what's the company's fundamentals. We're not looking for what's the next moonshot. We wait for the moonshot to happen. We wait for these crazy ones to happen, and then we just make money as it falls. How do I know when these plays are going to fall? Well, we can look at natural resistance, so we have a better entry. We can look at detailed resistance. We can look at all these different opportunities for us to be able to make this big time money and be able to make this big time profit. Now the big thing, team, is we got to talk about entries here, okay? So let's talk about entries next. Now let's keep this party going now, all right? So what we have on this next point here today is we have to talk about what is the right way to be able to enter onto these shorts. Now, entering sounds easy. Deck, I just click short, I'm in on it. That's not the best way that you guys want to do this, okay? If you guys are a TRADECASTER member, you guys have heard this method before, and I want to again, talk to you guys about this method. But we are going to talk about averaging in the imaginary box, basically DOAing, dollar cost average, or DCAing, dollar cost average, and we want to be able to make sure you get the best entry possible. So if we already take the last 3 days that we've learned and bring it over into our 4th day right now, we are again figuring out already that these plays are going to fall. And we are now trying to figure out how do we get the best entry possible. Deck, we learned about shorting. We learned about these plays going on big time breakouts. We can wait for these big time breakouts. And we just learned again about 10 minutes ago where to be able to look for these best entries on shorts, such as around $1 on FFIE, or again, whatever play, LSDI from past chart history pattern, or again, CCLD, looking at $3 natural whole resistance and lining up with past chart history pattern. So let's take a look at CCLD, for example, right? CCLD traders, CCLD, this was a great one. Very easy, very simple. You guys can see that every single time this play comes on up towards around the price of $3, it gets rejected. Now, in this case, CCLD, bounce, 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 sell off. Then it came up to $3, hit $3, which is a whole number and previous history. We're all set, ready to go. So you know what sounds easy? It sounds easy just to go ahead and say, well, Deck, I just click sell at $3, or I click short at $3, and I'm going to be in on this play. It's not as simple as that. Because a lot of times, guys, you might say that a stock is going to be at $3 resistance, and then guess what the stock does? The stock, again, will come on up towards the price of $2.95 and fall, and then you miss out because you were waiting for $3. There's also times that a stock will run on up towards $3, runs up to $3.10, you get scared, you get out of this play, and then guess what happens? The stock then starts falling on down. So this one was perfect. It ran right up to $3, get filled on it, fall back on down, you make money. Right? Beautiful. But let's talk about ways for us to be able to make more money. Let's think about ways for us to be able to not miss out on plays and to not be scared on plays. Okay? So let's talk about how we can do this. What we are going to want to do is we are going to most of the time want to look for multiple entries. Okay? Now I will say this right now. If you are underneath the PDT rule, you will not be able to do this because you are only allowed to have 3 entries per week. So I want to make sure that we are kind of stating that right now, that the PDT rule is going to affect some traders on entering multiple times. The other side is, though, guys, we can be looking for selling the same way. Selling, you can sell as many times as you would like. So you can sell as many times that you would like. Little bit of a heads up for you guys. It's just for entering a play. Now, let's go over this and let's understand this. All right. So what we have is we have $3 resistance. $3. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Let's go with right here. Here's $3 resistance, and let's go across the board. The best way to enter is, yes, traders, always try to get in right at $3. But $3 is what we actually want to have as our average. We know, as I already stated, there are sometimes the stock is going to run on up and turn at the price of $2.90 and we're going to miss out on it. And there's going to be times that we run on up, we get filled, it goes a little bit higher, we get scared and we get out, and then it turns and falls later on. So the thing is, we want to average that $3 mark. So this is how I want you guys to start trading with, again, penny stocks, if you guys can. Is I want you guys to realize, okay, $3, CCLD, that's going to be a great area for a reversal. Now also, little side note, team, this is, what did I say earlier? The first touch of previous history gets a reversal. First touch of whole numbers, get a reversal. If we keep hitting $3, just like on FFIE, eventually we will get a breakout. So please don't see a $3 touch 1, 2, 3 times, then you short it and you get mad at me when it gets a breakout. It's the first touch is always we get the pullback. Second touch, third touch, fourth touch is now showing strength as the stock is moving itself on up. So please have that into consideration. It's always the first touch. Now, what are we looking for, guys? We are looking for what we're calling averaging in, which is going to give us the best entry possible. So let's say we want to get 1,000 shares on the short side. 1,000 shares on a $3 stock is going to cost us $3,000 as an investment. Okay? And we have seen this stock, let's say it's FFIE or something, coming all the way from way down yonder, which is 80 cents. And it's going higher and higher and higher. And we say, I think that this stock is coming on up to almost 300% in gains right now. I think that this stock at this moment, let me move this a little bit over here. I think that this stock at this moment is going to turn at $3. So if that is your thought process, first thing that you guys want to do is you are going to want to break down this 3,000 shares into 1,000 share increments. Okay? I am going to put 1K shares, 1,000 shares right here. This is going to be at the price of $2.90. So I want to get filled at the price of $2.90. Why do I want to get filled at the price of $2.90? Well, as I said, if this stock hits 290 and goes up to 291, 292, and then starts falling back on down and we don't exactly get to $3, hey, I already have 1,000 shares filled on this play, and at least I have something now in on this play. At least I have something that I'm making money. And if the stock goes from 290 and falls all the way back down towards the price of $2, well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I just made $900 from that. That is awesome. So that's a 1K investment. That's not that bad whatsoever at all, right? So now with that being said, at this time, traders, what else are we going to want to be looking for? We are going to want to be going up even a little bit higher here, right? We want to be saying to ourselves, all right, this play, I want to average up if the stock runs up to $3 now. So as the stock is climbing and as the stock is moving itself on up, we get filled. And let's say it runs up to $3 now and goes up to 301, 302. We are now going to have another entry right at this price. So we are going to get filled again right at the price of $3. Now we had an entry at the price of $2.90. Now we have an entry price at $3. If we have these averages, if we have these entries, guess what? We have a new cost basis. Our new cost basis is going to be $2.95, which means we don't need to go back underneath $2.90. We need to go underneath $2.95 to get into the green. So we don't start making money here. We start making money up here, which is even better. So now guess what happens? The stock starts fading and falling, and now we make money, double the amount of money. We make double the amount of money because we have double the amount of shares in on this play. So that is absolutely great and awesome. Now let's say the last case scenario. Last case scenario is that we keep going on up and we hit the price of 310. And we hit the price of 310, guess what we do? You guys can imagine, we get our last entry. We got our last entry right here. Now, getting our last entry, we are filled on this play. We have a total now of 3,000 shares over on this play. And guess what? Our cost basis, since we got filled at $2.90, since we got filled at $3, and since we got filled at $3.10, what's the average of all three of these? These are going to be, the average is going to be $3 on the dot. And now we have 3,000 shares. And if this stock turns and falls and goes underneath $3, not $2.95, not $2.90, $3, now we make money all the way on down. And if it goes on down to the price of $2, we make $3,000 in profit, which is amazing. So what we're basically doing right here, team, is we are giving ourselves the best price by adding more money where we need to add. Okay, now the other issue is people don't like this because they say, well, Deck, what if it breaks through this area? Well, I'll tell you guys right now, if it breaks through your top tier, your top area, right here's your stop loss. Okay, so the thing is, you got filled at $2.90. You got filled at $3. You got filled at $3.10. The last thing you want to do is allow this play to keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, and then you just lose a ton of money. If you are going to use this and average in on a better to get a better entry, guess what? You are going to want to have a stop loss right here so that if it does keep on going, guess what? Worst case scenario, you lose $300. What if the worst case scenario was you lose $300, but the best case scenario was you get the reversal, you get the turn, and you make $3,000? You are making 10 to 1 money, 10 times what your loss would be. Right? So that is what is so incredible and so great about this. Now, what is so awesome as well is people like to change these numbers around a lot. And this comes down to your strategy. Does it have to be 1,000 shares? No. Go off again what you're thinking. Guys, hey, Deck, I only have a little bit of money in my account. Okay, if you only have a little bit of money in your account, instead of doing 1,000 shares at each place, why don't you just do 200 shares? Do 200 shares here, do 200 shares here, do 200 shares here. And you know what you'll notice? Sometimes you don't get filled at all, as I said. You get filled at $2.90 and it falls and you make money. It won't be that much money, but you make some money. And some money is better than no money. Sometimes you get filled with $2.90 and $3 and then you make money here. Sometimes you get filled with all three and then you make all the money here. And sometimes, again, you get a little stop loss, get on out, and you lose, again, a very small amount. But this is allowing you to get every single entry possible on the best average possible. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple different little strategies here. Some people also do this. Some people don't like to do 200 shares. Some people like to do it in this way. They like to say, hey, Deck, I'm going to do 500 shares at $2.90. Then I'm going to do 1,500 shares at the price of $3. And then at $3.10, I'm going to do 3,000 shares. Now, You adjust this to your account size, right? You can change these numbers. But why would someone want to do this? Because guys, remember when I said if I was getting filled at $2.90 and then $3, I would have an entry price of $2.95? If you have a smaller amount, 500 shares down low, and then you get filled at $3 with 1,500 shares, your cost basis is no longer $2.95. Your cost basis is now $2.99 because you added more money up high. So now you only have to go a little down to go lower. Now imagine if you add 3,000 shares at the very tippity top. Well, your cost basis is no longer $2.99. Your cost basis is going to be up towards around like $3.07. So the thing is, before, if you again had this, you had to get back on down towards the price of $3. Right now, you only have to get back on down to the price of $3.07. So what a lot of people like to do is they add more shares, more amounts. They start small, and as the stock goes higher, they add more, so it only has to go down a little bit for them to be able to make profit. They also are going to maybe change their numbers in this way, where maybe instead of doing $2.90, $3.10, and $2.93 and $3.10, they say, Deck, I'm going to get filled at $2.75. I'm going to get filled at the price of $3.10, and I'm going to do my last price all the way up towards around $3.50. I'm going to do a total of, I'm going to do 1,000 shares at $2.75. Right? I am going to do, or let's just say, I would even start a little smaller. Say, okay, I would do 500 shares at $2.75. It hits $2.75 and falls. I'll make a little bit. I'm going to give it more room, about 35 cents. And then I'll add 1,500 shares up here. So again, that's fine. Because now, again, instead of $2.75 entry, my entry is going to be all the way up towards around the $3.90. And then last but not least, I'm going to have one way up high at $3.50, which will be my main trade. My main trade up here is going to be 4,000 shares. So the thing is, if I actually do get filled at $3.50, my new cost basis at this time is going to be all the way on up towards probably around like $3.30. So the thing is, you're basically covering every single exit you can. Okay, I'm getting filled here. Guess what? I'm making money. I get filled here. I'm making good money. Okay, I get filled here. I'm making a ton of money. And you're basically surrounding the area of where it's going to turn. You're surrounding the area of where it's going to drop. Remember, team, there's something crucial though about this. You must, no matter where you do, have a stop loss right here. If you just keep saying, okay, I'm going to get filled with big money here, and guess what happens? The stock starts squeezing and the stock starts going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Guess what? You are now losing more and more and more. Nothing's worse than losing 500 shares, 1,500 shares, 1,400 shares, and now you're losing like 7,000 shares as the stock is going on up. You are losing a lot of money. So no matter where your last entry is, stop loss right there. And if you're only getting filled one time, hey, Deck, I'm getting filled at $3, stop loss right above $3 then. We must incorporate a stop loss. I don't want to put anyone on the spot right now. Okay, I don't want to put anyone on the spot right now at this moment. But I want to ask you guys, and you guys don't have to answer, but I want you guys to think about it. Is there anyone here who has blown up an account before? Now, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess that you blew up your account. And you are also a person that does not set stop losses. Got me. The thing is, I don't know one person who has ever blown up an account by setting stop losses. I don't know one person that's out there in the world that says, yeah, Deck, I usually buy stocks and then, if it goes right here, I get out right away. I've never met a person who sets stop losses who blown up an account. What most people do who blow up their accounts is they buy and then it falls and it falls and it falls and they say, oh, all right, I'll get out. And then they get out right here and there's minus $2,000. And then again, next day, they jump in on a play and it goes up a little bit and it falls and they say, oh, it has to come back up at some point. And it falls and falls and falls and then they lose their entire account, right? Don't do that. Guys, trust me. There are a million plays in the stock market. A million. There's a million plays that will happen, okay? We will see tons of plays, tons of action. If a play is not working out for you, move on from it. You guys have heard me say this analogy before. But really what it comes on down to in stock trading a lot of times is you guys just want to say to yourself, is this stock making me money, right? Is this play making me money or is it just a stress? I think about it as a relationship. In a relationship, your significant other should bring you joy, should bring you happiness. You should be excited to be with your partner. If you see your partner and you say, no, not her. If you see your partner and you say, oh, I just had a long day and now I have to go hang out with them. You are not with the right partner. You are not with the right person, right? If I jump in on CCLD and it's taking all my money, it's not, there's a billion other fish in the sea. There's a billion other stocks out there. Why are you just sitting there and saying, oh, I'm losing all my money. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this isn't fun. Click the sell button. Get out. But people just sit there and say, this sucks. Oh, I just lose more and more and more. This stinks. Guys, stock trading is an educational game. Okay? It's a game that we have to learn how to be able to do things the right way. But it's also a mental game, as in you have to be willing to pull the trigger. I could give you the best education in the world, which I believe I'm giving to you guys right now. But if I tell you, hey, set a stop loss, and you say, nope, not setting a stop loss, then you know what, guys? That comes on down to you just not listening. You have to be willing to be able to get out of a play if it does not work, if it does not, go the way we want. So, this whole entire strategy that, we like to go over right here, this whole entire strategy that we're teaching, it really, again, it is developed almost from casino players. And it's why the casino does not allow this. And it's pretty neat. Has anyone ever gone to a casino and you ever walk past the blackjack table, and on the corner of the blackjack table, it'll say max bet. And let's say it'll say max bet. And I know most of the time it'll be like $2,000. Now, why does it say that? Why does the casino not allow any more than $2,000 on this table? And the reason why they don't allow it is because if you had a lot of funds, you would never lose. You might say, what do you mean you would never lose? And the thing is, if I had a person who had, let's say, $100,000 and I sat down at a blackjack table and there was no max bet, guess what I would do? I would sit down right here and I would say, hey, dealer, let me draw this on out. Here's the table. Here's the dealer right here. And I would say, dealer, put me on in. Here's $1,000 bet. Boink. Here's $1,000 bet. And the dealer, again, takes my money. He beats me. Guess how I can win all my money back? Now I put $2,000 down, right? Put $2,000 down. Now the dealer beats me. The dealer now has $2,000 of my money. Guess what I can do? I can put $4,000 down. Now the dealer beats me. Guess what? He again just took this $4,000 away from me. But now guess what I do? Now I put $8,000 down. He beats me. Guess what I do? Now again take $16,000 down. So the thing is, in blackjack, you will not lose every single hand. You won't. You will beat the dealer 48% of the time. 48% of the time, you will beat the dealer. So the thing is, the dealer has that little edge on you, right? But at some point, you will win again. So if there was no max bet, you could just keep doubling your bet. And the moment that you win, right? The moment that you win, you would win all your money back. And now the casino would have nothing and you would be back to where you started. And let's say you just start getting a little bit of a hot run. And you start saying, ooh, I won 1,000, I won 2,000, I won 3,000. Ooh, I just won a little bit of a run. I just won 2,000, 3,000. Oh, he just won one. Okay, let me just double my bet. Okay, I just got that back. Okay, I just won 1,000, 2,000. Oh, he just won 2,000. Okay, let me again do a $4,000 bet. Ooh, I just got that back. Okay, now let me win. Guess what? If there was no max bet, you could literally just win off the at the casino nonstop, because you could just keep doubling your bet. And the moment that you win, you get all your money back. So then you win one, you win two, you win three, you win four. And then guess what? You lose one, just double that bet, you get all that money back. You win again. And you would progressively keep making more money. So that's why they always say max bet. Even like Dana White, who gambles a ton, they say, hey, Dana, like your max bet is like $100,000, right? Because they would know he would just keep doubling it on up until he won it all back. They would never win. So this is almost like what we do in the stock market. In the stock market, a lot of times, if I see a stock that is moving itself on up, there's a lot of people in the world that do this. They say, oh, I'm going to short this play right here with 500 shares. Okay, awesome. Then the stock again moves itself on up even a little bit more, right? Stock moves itself on up a little bit more. You say, oh, it's going up a little bit higher. Guess what? I'm actually going to short this play right now with 1,000 shares. Now your cost basis is right here. Now again, the stock starts moving up a little bit higher. And you start saying to yourself, oh, moves up a little bit higher. I'm actually going to jump back in right here with more shares. Now I'm going to do probably about 2,000 shares right here. Your cost basis is no longer down there. Your cost basis is all the way Up here. So guess what happens? If you just keep adding more money, the moment that this play eventually does fall, guess what? Now you make a ton of money as it comes crashing all the way back on down. Now you make money as it comes crashing all the way back on down. Now, if you could not do this strategy, and let's say you bought at the 500, right? And you couldn't add any more gains to it, guess what? You're at 500. You got to wait until the stock comes all the way back to this point before you even start making money. And that, that could be after you're down a ton of money. That could be after you're down a ton of cash, whatever it may be. So it is in the stock market, the rich do have an advantage. The people who have more money do have an advantage because they could always average up. Now, I do want to throw out a disclaimer right here. This lesson right now is not me telling you, go ahead and just keep adding on to all your losers. Please do not take this out of context. What I'm trying to show you is there are ways for us to get a better average. But do not say, oh, Deck just tells us to buy against spikes and just keep adding and adding and adding and adding until we again come crashing on down. No, that's not what I want. I want you to be able to figure out where are we going to fall, such as, okay, I think CCLD is going to fall at $3, bounce 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 at $3, $3 natural resistance line, $3 again where we are probably going to hit and reverse. Okay, Deck, I'm going to do a shorting average at $3. Okay, I like the idea here. That's a good shorting idea. So yeah, I'm going to do an entry right here at the price of $2.90. That's going to be my first entry. I'm going to get my second price at $3, and I'm going to get my third price at $3.15. You got filled here, you got filled here, you got filled here. Your average is right here, and guess what? Now you're making all this money as the stock falls. Boom. That's what I'm trying to teach you today. Not, oh, this stock's going on up. Deck just said keep on buying. Oh, I just bought. Oh, I'm losing all my money. No, we're doing this at the reversal area. We're doing this at the reversal point so that we do have the best average. We're doing this at the reversal point so we can make the most amount of money. We're doing this at the reversal point so that we can be able to progress, to be able to take on top. All right? So that is going to be so crucial, so awesome to make sure that every single trader is all set, ready to rock and roll. Whoo! Baby, oh baby, oh baby. Traders, we're at that time right now, 10:42 in the market. I mean, we just went for another hour and a half right there. Guys, this is the point of the show where I just go ahead and I say what? And I say, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns for me? So if you guys do have any questions, comments, or concerns, right now is the time that you guys want to go ahead and type them on out. It's also the time that I usually stand up and get myself a fresh bottle of water. So again, I will see you guys back here in just a moment so that we are all set, ready to rock and roll. But give me a second. Let me go get a quick drink of water, as I always do at this time. Let you guys type out some questions if you guys do have any questions. And then on top of that, we'll keep this party rocking and rolling, and again, bringing this education all the way up towards highs. You guys know we ain't stopping. You guys know we ain't slowing on down. You guys know we are going to keep this party going day in and day out, making sure that you guys get the best educational possible. I made a promise to you guys. Promise that I was going to take your train to the next level. And let me know how I'm doing right now, guys. I hope I'm delivering. I really do. I hope I'm delivering. I hope I'm exceeding your expectations. I hope I'm raising the bar. I hope you're saying, Deck, where have you been all my life? I can't believe I've been missing out on this. Deck, you are the real deal here. You are transparent. You are helping me. I appreciate you. Whatever it may be, I hope, again, I'm reaching those expectations for you guys on everything that we've gone over the last, again, 4 days and keeping this out. But, hey, if you guys have any questions right now, let me know. I'm going to throw on some tunes, get a quick drink of water, and we'll be right on back getting ready to do it. Traders, see you guys back here in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get back over to this. Let's answer these questions. And so everyone's all set here. Erosen. Let me make sure the mic's on. Awesome. Erosen asks, how do you typically take profits from your account? Is there a certain percentage that you typically follow? Great question. How do you take profits from your account? So for me, I personally withdraw money. It depends, but I usually withdraw money quarterly. So that means I try to grow my account up for about 3 to 4 months, and then I take profits from there. It's not like, you make $200 and then you all of a sudden take it out and then you're good to go. Because this is the thing. And it's a good question here. You want to be able to have more money in your account, okay? The more money you have, right? More money is going to allow you to be able to make bigger profits. So you want to be able to have as much money in your account as you can at all times. So if you only have $2,000 in your account, I would probably say you don't really want to ever withdraw it for at least like a few years or until you're getting your account upwards of like $100,000. Because the thing is, you want to be able to have more funds so that you can be able to have more trades and you can be able to buy more shares. So for instance, if you only have $2,000, you might have been able to say, oh, I could have traded FFIRE today. But you may not be able to trade GameStop, GME, because it's $32 per share. So the thing is, if you can get your account up towards $50,000, now, again, you could make quintuple the amount you could make on FFIE, and you have more options like playing GME, and you could be able to afford shares and be able to make more money. So again, more money equals, again, right, more shares, more options, more chances of success. Now, once you start having, a larger account, that's, when I take money out, every 3 to 4 months. So I usually keep in my account right around $50,000. And then I always try to get it up towards, $80,000, $90,000 or so. So let's say I turn it into $90K. Then I transfer on out about $30K or so into my bank account. $30K goes over to the bank. And now I have an account all set back on up with roughly around $50,000 or $60,000, whatever it may be. And then I go ahead and trade that and try to, again, get that up towards $90K or whatever it may be, and just keep doing the circle of life here where we are just, throwing, trying to grow our money, taking some out and going. But it's not like you take it out every day. I usually try to take out money every 3 months, 4 months, and then go back to like a nice baseline. But I don't do that with $2,000. You want to make sure you're at least above the PDT rule. So your goal, if you have a small account, is to get above the PDT rule. What time frame you use for the last strategy you just showed us? Again, time frame lesson, it was yesterday. It really just all depends on, what time is it during the day. But most of the time, it's going to be like the 2-minute time frame. So a lot of times these big time spikes, this 2-minute time frame is where we're going to get a lot of that good detail of what we're focusing on. Remember, see the start of the day and, of course, where we're at in the most detail. You will be bouncing around a little bit, but if you were not here yesterday, watch yesterday's lesson with the time frames, and that's going to go over absolutely everything. Well, thanks, Deck. You're great. I appreciate it. Trader Josh, Deck is the man. I thank you. Thank you. Jeroff, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it does mean so much to me. Tio saying, Deck, how do we get the daily newsletter? Blue circle, bottom left-hand corner. Hit them on up. Say, hey, can you add my email to the morning newsletter if you guys haven't? Decap, when you locate shares to short, how many times can you use them? You can use them as many times as you want on that day. So if you locate shares, they're yours for the entire day. You can use them over and over and over and over and over again. The next day, you will have to relocate them. The only way you will not have to relocate them the next day is if you hold those shares overnight. So you can use them as many times as you want after you pay the fee. It's not like you pay the fee, you buy them, sell them, and then you have to pay another fee. You pay the fee once, you can use them as many times as you want. If you hold them overnight, then you still have them. If you, again, don't hold them overnight, the next day you have to pay a new fee. Nooch, you mentioned yesterday that you'll be trading 80-20 shorts and options. Why bother with options since they do have all the variables and determine the potential profit? So I was saying 80-20, with potential options. I was just basically saying, like, I'm definitely going to do an options trade again. Let's say, it's all of a sudden Jerome Powell comes on out and he says, hey, the market's looking like absolute poop, and we start crashing all the way on down. Sure, I'm probably going to jump in on an SPX trade, very quickly on a day trade and try to make a couple dollars. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not like I'm going to trade a lot of options, but I will let you know that, on those crazy days, we have Fed speaking days, things along those lines, probably definitely going to, be involved in options in one way or another. Rooster, have you seen a day that blue chips go straight down, not even a little support on the 1 minute chart, or straight up as well? No, there's never a day that just everything drops. I mean, I would probably say there are times that, you have very big red days, during the pandemic and things, we had very big red days, but there's never a day that it just goes straight down all day, no green candles, all red all the time. There's always going to be, especially on the S&P 500, there's always going to be bouncing, then drop, then consolidation, then drop, then over lunch hours finds consolidation. It's not like, 8 hours of straight down. That would be insane though. But I've seen some big red days. But, $1,000 drops on the Dow, $1,200 drops on the Dow. During the S&P 500 in the pandemic, they closed the stock market because it was falling so hard, right? So during the pandemic, guys, for anyone who is just a newer trader, the stock market fell on this day 13% on the day. 13% on the day. Okay, usually the stock market falls like 1% on the day. It was falling and falling and falling, and they halted the entire stock. No one was allowed to trade anything. No one was allowed to touch anything. No one was allowed to trade anything. No one was allowed to do anything whatsoever, right? And it was just because it was falling so fast, so hard. Whale says, Deck, it turns out that you are actually so good looking. I really thank you for all the lessons and breakdowns. Whale, I I appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad that, again, you finally realized it. That's... More people got to wake up to that factor as well. I appreciate you. FLG Leo, do you use volume spikes to look for reversals? I look at when volume, I look at the level 2. And another good question. What did I teach you yesterday about volume? Volume, the more volume we have, the better. When we have volume, we have action. One of the best ways to know a reversal is going to be coming from volume is actually by watching the level 2. If we have a very hot stock, right, such as, I'm just going to type in LSDI, and LSDI is halted right now, right? But if we have a very hot stock and everyone's buying, and all of a sudden you see less orders, all of a sudden you see it slowing down, not halted, but just slowing down, it's losing attention. That's where, again, a reversal usually comes. So looking at the level 2 and seeing if it's slowing down, that means less excitement, less hype, less activity. And that's definitely where you can start seeing a drop back on down as well. Very awesome to be watching and be on top of. So that's really cool to see. Rooster, Deck, you are so great in trading. Why don't you put more shares little by little, like 500 shares, 520, 530, 550 every 3 weeks? Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Giving me again what I tell you guys. Recon traders still think a breakout on GME is possible today? Let's see here. It's got to break 36. Maybe over lunch. We got to see what's going to happen over lunch hour. Gregory, when are the recorded classes going to be posted? Again, they've been posted, my man. Again, I apologize about the video library. So this is the issue. The video library, guys, is over there. These lessons are too long. So they're like 2.5, 3 hours long. Here is the folder right here. Okay, so there's the real folder. Click this link, bookmark this link, save this link. This is private for you guys only. Shorting Bootcamp, day 1, day 2, day 3. I've been uploading them over on YouTube because YouTube is like one of the world's largest internet servers. They can handle a 3-hour video. Unfortunately, TRADECASTER can't handle a 3-hour video. It's like uploading a movie. So the thing is, guys, I do have a private lessons here, and as you guys can see, they are you can't find these on YouTube. They're 100% unlisted. So you can see there's a link here. It says unlisted. So if anyone ever went to Sean Deckmar, you wouldn't be able to see these videos, right? These videos aren't there. They're only there for TRADECASTER members only. So make sure you guys realize that. You guys can be able to watch these, and you guys will be all set, ready to go. So day 1, day 2, day 3, and right now, obviously, we are doing day 4. Deck, do you think Goose will drop and fill the gap on down? So GOOS. If I had to take a guess, probably. I mean, what I say, it was going to reverse right around $15. If we crack underneath $13, you definitely have, opportunity to be able to keep on fading and falling. It's already given back so much though. 200-day moving average would be your target, back down towards around 1270 over on GOOS. Ripper McGee, 11 a.m. coming on up after a nice morning so far. What are we thinking about Tesla, AMD? AMD is probably going to slowly move up over the next week. Same with NVDA is going to slowly move up over its next week. NVDA has earnings on Wednesday. AI is basically the artificial intelligent leader. Whatever NVDA does, everyone does in the AI world. So NVDA has some hype right now as it's getting excited for its earnings report. So I think those are going to be moving on up. Tesla is more, I just think, a sideways mover right now. No real big developments on Tesla. Not really anything too crazy right now at this moment. So you guys are all good, ready to go here. It's right there, crypto. You're all set. Newsletter, bottom left-hand corner on TradeCaster. Right underneath me, TradeCaster.com, blue circle. Blue circle, so you're all set, ready to go. If we have 5K, how many shares should we be shorting with? Personally, for me, I know, again, this is some people will disagree with this, okay? This is what I like to do. If you have a $5,000 account, okay, how many shares should you be shorting with? And I would say as many as you can. If you have a $5,000 account, you want to be getting as many shares as you can get. That means if a stock is $5, you get 1,000 shares. If a stock is $1, you get 5,000 shares. Sometimes people say, oh, I only want to use 10% of my account, 20% of my account. So you're only using $900, you're only using $1,000. That means you're now limiting how many, again, shares you can get and limiting your options. If you guys are going to trade, you should already be confident. You should already be experienced. You should already have an education. The people that say, oh, I only want to use 20% of my account. Yeah, if you have a $100,000 account. If you say, oh, I have $1,000 and I only want to use 20% of my account, you're not going to be able to afford any shares. So if you have $5,000 in your account, you should be buying as many shares as you can on, again, as many different stocks as you can, depending on the day, of course, because guess what? You want to be able to maximize your profits. Now, if you're saying, well, Deck, I can lose all my money that way. Well, not if you're experienced, not if you're education, not if you have good education, not if you paper trade for the last 6 months, not if, again, you worked hard at this. The people that say that are the people that are unexperienced, the people that are saying, oh, well, I don't really know how to trade, right? So we want to learn how to trade, then be able to grow our small account. Crypto, buddy. Okay, I don't know if you're trolling me or what, buddy. Again, saying, where is the link? Recording playlist right here. Click that link. Then again, you said, can someone at me with the link? Then I said, crypto booming. Here is the playlist. Now you're saying at this moment, I can't see where the link is. Please help me. Crypto, you might have some other problems going on. Okay? Here it is. Don't make me lose my mind today, buddy. Please. I'm having a great day. Please keep me calm. Just please keep me calm, okay? I'm having a good day. Please don't ruin it. That's all I ask. I just want to say, I don't want to yell. I don't want to yell, okay? Just please, woosa, Deck, woosa, go back to your happy place. Remember what again? Remember what Cheryl told you? Remember when you're at therapy, what she said? You don't got it? No, you're okay. No, no, stop. Don't do that. You're okay. You're absolutely fine. It's calm. These people are okay. They're okay. All right. Kush, can you make us an expert for longing in the future once shorting lessons are done? Hey, can you teach us how to do breakouts after you're done teaching shorting? I'm done. I'm over it. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question right now. Why am I teaching you shorting? Why am I teaching you shorting right now? Why am I teaching you it? I'm teaching you shorting because every single play starts crashing on down. I'm teaching you shorting because every single breakout only lasts for a short period of time. I'm teaching you shorting because all of these plays go back down to the garbage. All of these plays turn into nothing. I'm teaching you shorting so you stop being the guy that is buying on the breakouts so that you stop losing your money. You are here right now because your old strategy is not working. So I'm teaching you the strategy that is working. So now it's, hey, I love the strategy deck. It's been awesome. Can you teach us how to buy breakouts now? No. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to wake you up right here. Children underneath 18 years old right now. If you're underneath 18, earmuffs right now. Earmuffs. Now wake the fuck up. Get the fuck out. Fuck up. There we go, team. Here we go. Stay calm. Reese, did you send me an email, Reese? Reese, you send me an email for the scanners? Send me an email, deckmartrades@gmail.com. Deck, how about not breakouts, but can you teach me like good stocks, good cap plays, how to go long on those plays? We can work on that. That's okay. Okay? We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that with you, buddy. So blue chips, bigger plays, talking about how to find bigger and blue chip plays. Absolutely. We can talk about that in the future. No worries. All you had to do was ask. I mean, I'm a nice guy. All you had to do was ask. That's all. All right, traders, let's get ourselves dialed in here. Oh, whew. So team, beautiful, beautiful work so far. Now, let's kind of go through these and let's see if we are correct with a lot of our plays. We got LSDI at this moment starting to fade on down, getting a little bit weaker. FFIE meme stock play, still trying to get a little bit of attention towards it. TSRI, nope. BMTX, nope. NNVC. Okay, so we got GameStop, which I'm hoping that could get a little bit of a pop, but that's looking pretty ugly. On top of that, though, team, FFIE is the winner right now. FFIE is the number one winner at this moment. So that is going to be the play that we are going to continue to keep our eyes peeled on. Now, guys, little heads on up. I have a little surprise for you guys as well. So going into Monday, okay? Monday, we are actually going to be having, I believe, the vice president of Lightspeed, not the United States, the vice president of Lightspeed. He is going to come on to the live stream with me, and he is going to show you guys how to be able to do like special orders over on your shorts. Also, how to be able to set stop losses on your shorts and things along those lines. So he is going to walk you through step by step anything that you guys want to know about how to set orders, trailing stops, stop losses, different entry orders, all that stuff. That's going to be our lesson on Monday, which I'm very excited about. So I want you guys to kind of go through Lightspeed at this time and be like, hey, okay, this order, what does that mean? And all these different orders, how do I do this? Or Deck, how do I set an order that gets filled at a different time like this? And on Monday, you'll be able to ask him because he's going to be coming on our live stream and he's going to be walking you guys through how to be able to set all these different cool orders for your shorts. And that's going to be absolutely great and absolutely awesome so that you guys have full confidence moving forward with your orders. All right. So, and that's going to be kind of taking us more towards our stop loss lesson as well going into the future. So man, we have gone over a lot. As for today, my main points that I really wanted to hit was going to be resistance, reversals, and our entries. So beautiful work all around. On Monday, we are going to be having our Lightspeed live stream, and that's going to be great. Tomorrow, guys, on Friday, there is not going to be any lesson. Tomorrow, I would like to be able to just do a trade on a Friday, get ready for the weekend, and have some fun that way. So tomorrow, Friday, there will not be an official lesson for tomorrow. Our lessons for our shorting will be more of starting up on Monday. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be here, of course, but I would like to be able to try to just get a nice Friday trade with you guys and then get ready for the weekend and be able to enjoy it from there.